everyone. Today we are talking about water and the most famous quote from Bruce Lee. Water, be like water, my friend. So, everyone know about Bruce Lee? Type yes in your chat box. Okay. So, I assume that everyone knows about Bruce Lee. Yes. Okay. Great. So his famous quote was, wow, Rajvin, you also know. Very good. So his famous quote was, empty your mind, be formless, shapeless, like water. If you put water into a cup, it becomes the cup. If you put water into a bottle, it becomes the bottle. This was the quote from Bruce Lee. What he meant to be like a water. So Bruce Lee went by saying that be like water, my friend, that you should be flexible in both mind and body. It's not about being rigid and stubborn about your beliefs, practices, understanding, and instead about being open minded and able to change and adapt to the circumstances that we are put into. So, this is very true for people who are moving from one place to another. And I have seen those people who move from one place to another, they have more adjusting power. They are, you know, they can adjust to any situation and they have more broader outlook because they are moving from one place to another. So he says, don't remain stiff, be brave, learn, adapt, and stay at peace. So the philosophy and origin of Bruce Lee's famous metaphor for resilience was of resilience, empty your mind, be formless, shapeless like water. So he also always loved this quote, and he really speaks of power of adaptability. This was his entire formula for self-mastery. He was the most influential martial artist in modern history. He also quoted as one of the most influential figures of 20th century by Times magazine. He died at the early age of 32 in 1976 and left behind a legacy. Now, nearly 50 years later, the world still recounts the momentum created by him in his brief lifetime. He was an actor. You must have seen the film. Fighter, teacher, father. He had opened his own school. He was father and philosopher. Among many of his teaching, what stands out is the quote, be like water, my friend. From martial artists, students to people in all the way of life wanted to incorporate Bruce Lee's teachings to lead a more productive, balanced, and successful life. When Bruce Lee was 18 years old, he was studying Kung Fu with Master Yip Man. At that time, the future martial arts star was a hot-headed teenager. He wanted to win at all costs. Chop, chop, chop. It was about showing everyone who is the best one around. The Master Yip saw potential problems on the horizon. If his pupil continued on the same path, it would not end well. So he frequently tried to get the teenager to slow down. So one constant phrase he was saying was, stay calm, cool. Lee recognized the wisdom of his master's teaching, but was failing to apply them. Whenever he was fighting with another person, his inner nature got the best of him. He would always revert to his old ways. So Yip Man kept reminding Bruce, learn the art of detachment. After one particularly fiery episode, the master Bruce told to go home for a week. He told Bruce, go home, enjoy, just stay home and think. So Bruce tried meditating. It was to no avail. His mind kept getting better of him. So he decided to go sailing on the water. While at sea, old memories kept flashing back in his head. The teenager got extremely mad. He clenched his fist and punched the water. This became the turning point in Lee's life. At that exact moment, he realized that Master Yip was trying to teach him. Lee punched the water as mightily as he could, but the water didn't get hurt. He then tried squeezing water in his hand, but that proved fruitless. While on the surface, the water seemed weak, in reality, it isn't. If you gave enough time, it could cut through even the hardest of the surfaces. Lee knew what he wanted to be like. He wanted to be like water. So he says, "What be water, my friend." Many years later, when he was interviewed, Bruce recalled this ultimate lesson. This was his really final lesson. On 9th of December 1971, he appeared on Pierre Burton's show. There, in a legendary exchange, he gave a summary of his life's philosophy in what has been since called the Lost Interview. The host, Pierre Burton, prodded deeply into the actor's psyche. So Pierre Burton said, there were some key lines there which had expressed your philosophy, but I don't know if you remember them or not. So Bruce Lee answered, empty your mind, be formless, be shapeless, like water. Now you put water in a cup, it becomes a cup. You put water into the bottle, it becomes a bottle. You put it in a teapot, it becomes a teapot. Now water can flow or it can crash. Be water, my friend. This, in nutshell, is a perfect summary of some of his key Taoist teachings. Water is most commonly used metaphor in Tao Te Ching, the founding text of Taoism. According to tradition, this book was written 2.5 million ago by Lao Tzu, a wise sage who wandered around China, spreading his understanding of Tao. Lao Tzu likened an individual's path through life as being like water, and he described the ideal character a person should have. So, what he said, the best character is like water. Water's goodness is that it benefits myriad things but does not quarrel. And it willingly goes to where others hate. Thus, it's almost like Tao. So, this is what Tao said. Lao said in Tao Te Ching. For Taoists, water serves as a metaphor to illustrate types of quality you should have if you want to lead a tranquil life. There are numerous passages in the different Taoist writings that show various lessons one can take from this liquid substance. Liquid substance is water. So other people, other sages, other big writers also discussed about the quality of around the world. In India also, many people had spoken about water, but Bruce Lee's statement became a change. It was a really a big change. So how to get inspired by water? So Bruce Lee spent a lot of time reading books. One of the books that he had a special place in his library was Tao Te Ching. It's a foundational text he utilized to create his own philosophy of life. Absorb what is useful, reject what is useless, and what is essentially your own. So, in traditional China, Taoism was a religion complete with its own mythology and rituals. But Bruce Lee did not follow this orthodox type of thinking. So he applied this philosophy in its own way and started working on it and started teaching people around about it. The most gentle thing in the world overrides the most hard. This was the simple statement. This is the profound idea. If you think about it, imagine water. It seems to be soft and weak, but imagine a rock. It seems hard and powerful. Yet over the ages, water overcomes rock. It can cut the rocks. How? What is the example which you can picture in your mind? Picture the Grand Canyon in Arizona, the majestic rocks sloping down, and at the bottom there's a tiny river. Now think about the fact that all that you have seen before was carved out of by that river, that small river, that streaming deep underneath. It was once a flat terrain, but over the millions of years, water managed to overcome the rock. So beautiful, isn't it? So you should see a picture of Grand Canyon. Of all the gentleness and submissiveness in the world, nothing compares to water. And to tackle stiffness and toughness, there's nothing better. There's no easier substitution. Be submissive to overcome dominance. Be gentle to overcome toughness. So Bruce Lee applied these concepts in his martial arts too. The martial art he created, Jeet Kune Do, combines the technique from different arts in order to have a more complete fighting system. Being like water means you are able to adapt to whatever is thrown at you. In one situation, you might be attacked by larger opponent with punches, so you need to block them quickly. You become the cup. In another situation, you might need to pacify a drunk man without hurting them. So you put them in a joint lock. You become a bottle. These principles are also applicable in everyday life. Imagine yourself in an office. One of your insufferable colleagues come in to criticize you and call you names. You are so stupid. You can't even make simple calculation. In such a situation, go with the flow. Don't argue with them. That's what they want you to do. That's what they expect you to do. Instead, do something different. A perfect strategy is to take everything with humor. In improvement or unplanned, unscripted theater, one technique is called yes and. You just agree with everything they say and add your own thing. Yes, and I can't even tie my own shoes laces. So this is what in theater they do it. So apply water metaphor to your life. If you want to apply this metaphor in your life, there's a simple question you should ask yourself. How can I be like water? That is the basic question. The act of asking a question often ends up formulating an answer for you. In the background, in your subconscious mind, your brain starts going over the attributes of water and comparing it to the situation at hand. Then the course of action inspired by water suddenly appears as if by magic. Of course, not always is the process straightforward. Sometimes you need to employ your conscious mind in the process. This might often involve an element of practice. Practice creates automatism, which is something you need if you want to be an expert. For Bruce Lee, be like water metaphor also had a higher metaphysical meaning. It's about having the ability to adapt to anything life throws at you. This requires to be a sort of renewed man or woman with a head full of different mental models. These you can then apply when the situation calls for it. To reach that state, you need to adopt a mindset of continuous learning, humbleness, and curiosity. So keep on learning. You learn a lot. So Bruce Lee were not only the only people who reflected on water and how it connects to us. Many other writers have also written about water. One of them said, the life in us is like the water in the river. It may rise this year higher than man has ever known and flood the parched upland. Even this may be the eventful year which will drown all our muskrats. It was not always a dry land where we dwell. This was said by Henry David Thoreau in Walden. One thing you can do is go out into nature and observe water in all its shape and form. See how a river flows into an ocean. Notice how it carves out valleys. Ponder on how it changes its shape from solid to liquid to gas. Seeing this, learning about it can prove quite useful when the times comes to be like water. But what does it really mean when Bruce said to be like water? There are many interpretations, but one of them I have shared with you. So another thing is, be fearless to explore the new you. One of the most important characteristics of water is fluidity. When you spill the water, it will not wait to see what's ahead. It just moves on, filling every crack and spreading all over. Water is not afraid to explore until it finds its way to the bottom. Water has no plan. It simply spreads wherever it can. One of the biggest problems we have is we waste way much time on planning rather than taking action. In other words, it can also called procrastination. We want to perfectly plan what to do 5 steps ahead. Instead of what we really should be doing is to take first step and then another and then another. That's what I say, be in the moment and do what you have to do right now. Take action. So this is what the first thing is. Don't try to plan every second of your life. Have a definite goal and then take action step by step to reach that goal. So you start not by planning each and every second, just go with the flow. Whether you want to start a side hustle or switch your careers, don't overthink about all the problems and what may go wrong. Just flow like water. The same way water is not afraid to venture into unknown cracks and spaces, learn to simply flow and explore. Then be adaptable to change. Another property of water is that it adapts to its environment. It is formless and shapeless. You put water into a cup, it adapts to the shape of the cup. You put into a bottle, it adapts to a bottle. In life, most people act rigidly. They don't want to change. They live within a system where they don't want to change. The meaning of life is that it is to be lived and it is not to be traded and conceptualized and squeezed into a pattern of system. Life is full of obstacles and barriers that may stop you from reaching your goal. If you face a situation that you are unfamiliar with, try to adapt. Trying to adapt will be hard, very hard at first, but once you master the art of adaptability, you will have nothing to fear. Being like water means you never stay in a fixed position. You change with the change. You constantly improve yourself based on the situation you face. Many people want to learn Bruce Lee's original art, but in reality, they can't. Why? Because he was constantly changing. According to Dan Inosanto, one of Lee's best friends, Bruce would change the curriculum almost every month. He was a teacher also. He was constantly experimenting and figuring out how to express himself better through martial art. Instead of being fixed and rigid to one set of beliefs, we should always evolve with the circumstances that we face. You should be gentle yet powerful. This is another great property of water. It is so gentle, yet it can pierce through rocks if provided with enough pressure. Water can drip and it can crash, become like water, my friend. Here, power doesn't mean having great muscles or being in the top position. It means to be strong enough to break through life's struggle and challenges. In the meantime, you should be gentle enough to respect and be grateful for this beautiful life, and to others too. If we can just understand the properties of this amazing element, we can live beautiful and better life. So when Bruce Lee was very young, he used to walk to local lake to practice his martial art. One day he punched the water as hard as he could. The water simply gave away. Then reform. When you punch water, it will just go in particular way and then come back. The water simply gave way, then reformed. It absorbed his energy no matter what he did. He deeply reflected on this and applied it to his entire outlook on life. He realized that water has all aspects needed for humans to echo and apply to their life. Water is flexible, it is continuously moving, it shapes and moves around its obstacle. It is not rigid, it is powerful, it is consistent, it is purposeful, it will never stop. Humans, therefore, must be fluid, adaptable, strong, persistent to overcome the many obstacles that life will throw at them. This became the basis of his entire method. Essentially, the goal of our lives, according to Bruce Lee, is to become fully expressed humans, always reshaping, evolving, and growing. Now, there are 4 stages of cultivation in order to get there. Partiality. This is where everyone begins. We are unskilled and undisciplined at this stage, not really in control of making purposeful decisions in shaping our life, acting out of ego or fear. Then fluidity. This is the learning phase where you really begin to take responsibility for your own learning and development. This is where you are shaped, you absorb deeply and consistent in your practice. Then emptiness. This is where you have mastered your skills, so you can do them without even thinking, acting purely on intuition, what is known as formless form. So Jeet Kune Do, this translates as self kung fu. Kung fu simply means skill achieved through hard work. At this stage, you are fully you. Your life is an expression of your actual self, and you have achieved self mastery in being the most authentic version of you. I think this is a powerful philosophy and something to reflect on. So not only does water have these quality of fluidity, purpose, and prosperity, it also have powerful and patience, even to the point of destruction. In The World Without Us by Allen, he mentioned that if humans died out, one of the biggest destructive forces on the planet without human interference would be water, which would seep through our architecture and destroy them. So water can appear calm on face, but rage deep within. It can be refreshing, but also burn you. We also have, we therefore have practiced emptying our cup from time to time. This is the act of mindfulness, of liberating yourself from the burden of your preconceived ideas. This offers openness and neutrality that allow us to be flexible, and it allows us to be cleansed. Ultimately, what is life? Humans are made up of 60% water. So it makes up biggest part of us. It is also essential to all growth. And he is the one who sends down water from the sky, causing all kinds of plants to grow. And these are signs for people who believe. Water is continuously moving, finding a way when there is no way. If we respond to obstacle as water does, then we can both be shaped by and shape our world. So bottom line, Bruce Lee's life, be like water, my friend, simply means to be flexible in both mind and body. It's about not being rigid and stubborn about your beliefs, practices, understanding, and instead about being open minded, able to change and adapt to the circumstances we are put into. Mastering ourselves like water will allow us to respond in every situation that life hands us, no matter how difficult it is. So this was the Bruce Lee statement, be like water, my friend. So now we come to end of this part of explaining be like water. Would you like to do meditation to be like water? Right? Type yes in your chat box and I will give you one small meditation of 10 minutes or 15 minutes. Yes? Great. Perfect. Perfect. Okay, so let's start on meditation. Relax yourself completely and totally. Sit comfortably on your chair or lie down comfortably. Breathe in and breathe out. Perfect. Sure. We will train our mind to continuously move into the flow state, which is the most productive state and most creative state of mind, which we are going to experience. So let's start. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. Your toes are relaxed. Breathe in and breathe out. Your ankles are relaxed. Your knees are relaxed. Your lower body is relaxed. Your stomach is relaxed. Your chest is relaxed. Your shoulders are relaxed and drooped down. Your hands are relaxed. Your fingers are relaxed. And you can feel the tingling sensation on your fingertips. Your neck is relaxed. Your cheeks are relaxed. Your jawbones are relaxed. Your eyes are closed shut till I say open your eyes. Your forehead is relaxed. Your head is relaxed. Your whole body is totally and completely relaxed. Now imagine that you are in the lap of nature with trees around, green grass below your feet. Flowers are of different colors around you. You can hear the sound of chirping birds. The sun is shining softly. The morning sun is touching your body very gently. You are feeling so happy, so peaceful. And you look at the sky. It is cloudy but clear. Now you see a water body, a beautiful water body in the form of lake, river, or sea. Now you go towards that water body and see how the entire scenery that you are seeing on land is reflected on the water surface. You see everything is being reflected, the clouds, the trees, and the mountains, and the bird that is sitting on the tree. Everything is reflected on the water surface. The water is so clear, so still. You feel like stepping into the water and you remove your footwear and you just step into the water. The water has the perfect temperature and you feel very comfortable putting your legs inside the water. You are walking on in the water. One step in the water, two steps in the water, moving in the water. You are almost into the water and you are completely submerging into the water. You are able to feel as if your entire body is dissolving into this water, as if salt is dissolving in the water. You are feeling the expansion, the fluidity, the clarity of the water. There is no difference between you and the water. You have completely dissolved yourself into the water. Just a few more seconds, you feel the expansion, the clarity, the limitlessness of your being, and your attention goes towards one side of the water body, where the water is flowing gently as a small stream, a small river that is flowing into the water body where you are one with water. That river is flowing, and you started to flow with the river. And with this water, you feel like you have started to float with this water, making your way through all the rocks, the stones, small or big. Nothing can stop you. You are flowing like river, the beautiful river flowing effortlessly, and you are flowing effortlessly with the water. You are one with water. You just keep flowing, just effortlessly. This is your nature. Now, notice a small and beautiful river bank, and you know what you want to do. You want to come out of that river. So just walk through that river body and towards the river bank. You are able to feel your entire body coming back together with the count one. You are now you out of water. You are out of water on the bank of the river, fully dry, but something has shifted. You feel very fresh, completely rejuvenated. I know what it is like to be like the water slowly. You are able to visualize yourself very fresh. All the water has cleansed you, cleaned you. Your mind is clear. There's nothing left, that emptiness. And you feel that you are very pure, feeling very grateful. You are feeling very peaceful. You are feeling the calmness, and you are feeling that now you have the power to clear all the obstacles in your life. You can flow powerfully yet gently, clearing all the obstacles coming in your way. You are now very, very fluid, adapted to the situation, finding solution to your problem, and flowing. While you flow, learning and honing your skills beautifully. You are feeling complete and can adapt to any situation that comes in your life, and clearing all the obstacles that comes in front of you. You are now like water. my friend. Slowly wriggle your toe a little bit and come back from the river to your bed on your chair. You are feeling so relaxed, back from the freshness of the river, of the nature, and back to your room, to your chair, to your bed. Slowly move your hand a little bit. Little by little, come to your consciousness and open your eyes. You can do this meditation as many times as you can. If you want to be in this moment for a little more time, you can be in this moment and do this meditation as many times as you feel like, and it will definitely give you a lot of benefits of clearing all the obstacles in your life, and you can flow like a river. So be like a water, my friend. Thank you very much. Anyone would like to ask any questions on this? Hello, Neelamji. I saw you for just a few seconds. I can't hear you. Unmute yourself.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Your meditation is all awesome.
Thank you.
Yes, Nupurji, I really believe in this philosophy as well.
Great.
I listened to I when you were busy with spiritual fast, I do follow 1 hour, and I do listen to the recordings as well. And it's
Very
so
good.
powerful, so powerful. I listened to a talk by a clinical psychology. He also told me that you want to be calm and you want to be peaceful, you have to be like a water.
Yes.
So yeah, I was so excited when the notification came, because sometimes I have triggers, but I'm learning to become like a water.
Yes.
Thank you for your meditation. I really enjoyed it. Really, stay blessed.
Yes. Thank you so much, Rajvin. And I would say that you are a perfect example of being like a water. You are adapting to the situation, you are accepting the situation, and you are trying to clear. And you have cleared most of the obstacles. So you are like a water. So I would appreciate you and thank you for sharing your views.
And also thank you, Melvin team, for guiding me to be in this state as well.
Yes.
And also other people who are in my life, like to be in this state is not easy. It took me a lot of effort to be before I can become to this state.
Yes, you will, and you are. So thank you very much. Sorry. Thank you very much for saying kind words for Mavin and Mavin team. And we will always be with you and always be promoting you and giving you motivation to go on. Thank you very much, Rajvin. Anyone else who want to share something? So let's end this session with a note that be like a water, my friend. So Thank you, Dr. Shavana. Thank you, all the audience out here and around the world who will be watching this later on YouTube and benefit from them. Remember to send us feedback on this particular talk. It is a beautiful talk on